Welcome to episode 213 of the Planet Destiny podcast. We are unfortunately down a man because Mr. TBL is off doing better things in, I believe, Las Vegas.
He's gambling.
If I'm not mistaken.
He's gambling.
Right now. That man is off in that probably 100+ degree weather, sitting by a pool, enjoying a cold beverage. So if you guys are mad, go yell at him on Twitter at the Black.
Yeah.
But we got the usual roundtable of hosts. I'm back from my couple of weeks absence from the podcast. Back up and running. We got Dan and Aura. How you guys doing today?
Doing well. How are you,
doing
buddy?
well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. Well, it could be better, but I'm all right. I'm all right. I almost didn't make it to the show. I was feeling a little bit down, but here we are. There's a lot to cover for this week. We got a juicy, thick this week at Bungie blog update.
I'm glad you made it, Nem. I've missed you.
Have you, Aura?
Of course I have.
I miss you guys. I miss you too, buddy. We need to play at some point. Although it's probably not going to be tomorrow because Destiny's going to be like down all day.
Yeah, all day.
We have ways, and by ways I mean we don't. We're not going to be playing.
But we definitely need to hit up the Crucible again. Introduce some blueberries to our Aaron.
Yeah. I hope that we can find it in our hearts to be kind to new players, so that we attract more people to our game. So just try to remember that there's people who are going to be out there who actually do think that the Blight public event is dumb luck when it becomes heroic.
Oh my god!
Be prepared for that again.
To the people that are pushing that narrative over on Twitter, you should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm looking forward to the Reddit posts stating that, oh my gosh, you gotta learn how to do it or else you're not
It's that time of season.
Yeah.
Where we get with some kindergartens coming up. Big couple of months coming up ahead of time. We've had this incredibly detailed this week at Bungie come up. We've had the launch trailer for Shadowkeep come up as well. We had an updated calendar, slightly updated calendar.
Right.
I don't know if you guys covered that in the previous episode.
Did cover a bit of it, yes.
Okay, perfect. So that we don't have to worry about. So I mean, honestly, I'd say let's dive in onto the blog update because it's honestly there's a lot to cover there.
There is a lot. Where do you want to start?
All right. So I have a couple of images here that I posted on the Discord call. No particular order. I say we just start off with the PvE difficulty tuning that's being changed with Shadowkeep. So with Shadowkeep coming up ahead, combatants that are level 10 through 40 higher take a little, they take less damage and time to kill. And you will deal also less damage, which is pretty different because I mean the power like scaling has always kind of like been a little bit on the harsher side.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And I think this is probably gonna I don't want to say ease it up a bit, but it's gonna make you feel like you're doing a little bit more, towards those meaty yellow bars.
So this is a nerf to people who are 10 to 40 levels higher than we are.
Yeah.
That's my understanding of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the difference here is when enemies are 100 power, like above a player, then they're immune.
Right. It says, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Which you guys remember back in Destiny 1, I think it was in the beta, if you could go over to the I want to say it was the Skywatch. There's that little cave
underneath
off to the side, yeah, and they had that like unkillable knight.
Oh yeah.
One of my first, this is kind of embarrassing. One of my first Destiny experiences, like as a brand new Guardian, when you land at the steps on Earth in the Cosmodrome, right?
Yeah.
First place you spawn in the steps. There's that big hut in the middle.
Yeah.
I went down there and there's like 3 boomer knights. So that was, I mean, first of all, it was completely pitch black.
Yeah.
right? It's dark, can't see anything. I'm a brand new Guardian. I went down there and got like bombed by all 3 or 4 of those boomers that are in there and instantly died. They were immune for me. It was wild. Like that was one of my first experiences in all of in like literally all of Destiny. Was walking down to an area I should not have been in and getting murked.
That's a good
First
time.
memory.
Heck yeah. I remember that in the basement, like where you first encounter Rasputin.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
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 That guy. Holy shit. I
Hey.
hid behind like the stairs.
The
and just
stairs, yeah.
Took like pot shots at him.
Yeah, because he doesn't come up.
No, he doesn't.
He's
come
down
up.
there.
He stays down there. You just have to take pot shots. That's all you gotta do.
But yeah, so the PvE difficulty tuning is only going to affect combatants that are higher level. At level or oval era experiences remain unchanged, so there's not a whole lot to worry about there. With that, there's also a PvE, and we kind of talked about this a long time ago. But just as a quick refresher, that the numbers are going to be changing. The damage numbers are changing in the game.
Right.
It's only a UI update. It's not. They're not nerf blanketing our damage, as a player. But it's going to be a lot harder to get that, 900,000, that 99999 number. So what was the reasoning that they gave?
Well, I think Devious, one of our former guests, pointed out that like even though it reads 99999 whatever, like we're actually doing more damage than that when he
because the game can't calculate it.
Right. So this is just in effect if we actually can do that amount of damage, it's going to be tuned to a number that is tangible.
Yeah.
In a sense, we'll be able to tell how much health a boss actually has by adding up the damage that we do to it. So instead of critting a boss and seeing all these 9s, we might see something like 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, but actual tangible, quantifiable numbers that we can then put into strats and guides and whatnot. We can go, hey, this boss has, X number of health, and we can prove it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Absolutely. And I think we're probably going to get, because like right now you can hit Dolan Karu if you're wearing Celestial Nighthawk and like all of the Transcendent Blessing mods, and you'll get that silly number pop up. So maybe with this update we'll be able to see that, proper number. See what her health actually is. There's so much to this. I don't have it memorized. So I'm literally just scrolling by.
Yeah, no, there was a ton, and like this was as long as some of like Luke Smith's
like text, notes, like state of the game addresses kind of thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
State of the game.
And like, I think like when we did like Destiny Digest the other day, it was like 17 minutes when it's supposed to be like 5 to 7.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's just so much information in this. So like you have the difficulty tuning. Yeah.
Experience will no longer fuel a player's character level as well. So this is part of the progression and economy changes. Because I feel like there's not a whole lot of to talk about with PvE difficulty and damage numbers. I feel like we can move on from that. So yeah, experience will no longer fuel a player's character level, which has been changed to be level 50 for all characters. I'm assuming when the new light players hit the game, they're starting off at power level 750, level 50, because they move on from there.
Yeah.
From at least my understanding.
Yeah. So it says experience instead progresses the season pass, the seasonal artifact mod, and power progressions, as well as the unlocking of destinations for new characters. Which didn't they say that they're going to be which mods are viable after Tuesday for experience? Or which bounties are viable?
So your Crucible bounties, your Gambit bounties, and your Vanguard bounties are going to be wiped.
Okay.
So if you've stored any of those, including Iron Banner, that's going to be absolved from your Pursuits tab. They're just going to disappear.
Right.
All other bounties as far as we can tell, you will be able to carry over 4 XP towards leveling your seasonal artifact in your season pass, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wanted bounties, Werner bounties, Ada bounties, planetary bounties, including Dreaming City and Tangled Shore. Those are the things, and even some of the odd here and there quests, maybe even Corsair Downs.
Yeah.
Are things that you'll be able to hold in your pursuits complete and turn in. But it almost like doesn't matter, because one of the other things that they're doing is that year 2 powerful reward sources have been changed to legendary rewards. So
yeah,
once you hit the cap, and we're going to get to the caps, essentially year 2 milestones aren't going to matter. They're not going to give you powerful drops anymore.
Right.
This is how I read it. And correct me if I'm wrong, because this was a lot to digest, and Bungie's terminology is far from, they could word things a lot differently to make it easier to understand. But my understanding was like doing 3 strikes of the same element is going to give you shots at legendary gear, but not powerful rewards. So in terms of bounties, you can keep powerful reward bounties, but they're going to drop and be capped at 750. And they may even not be armor 2.0 drops at that point. That part it's not too clear on either as to whether or not they would actually drop you year 2, or I should say armor 2.0.
Yeah, you're right. So it does say year 2 powerful reward sources have been changed to legendary rewards. So what we're used to giving or getting powerful stuff from, no longer the case. But I don't think they've really gone into what does. We don't know what those pinnacle activities are yet.
Right.
Well, so if we can go straight to the caps and whatnot. So the floor is 750. All of your guardians right at the get-go are going to be 750.
Right.
The soft cap is going to be 900, which is actually 10 above the raid contest mode for the first encounter, which is 890. So soft cap is 900, and your powerful cap is 950.
Right.
So the way I read it, if I did 3 heroic daily missions, that should drop somewhere between the 750 and the 900 range.
Right.
But not over 900.
Not over 9. Correct. Yeah, because the only way you get to 960 is by doing the pinnacle.
So 960, which is the pinnacle cap, is it pinnacle rewards, or is that the gear score plus your 950 gear score plus your artifact?
No, that is like gear score.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So because
your artifact is able to allow to push it beyond.
It grows from that.
It's infinite, right? Your artifact is allowing you to push you to infinite power level from pinnacle level. I guess.
Yeah, it's supposed to be infinite. I don't know exactly how that's still going to translate into in-game.
Yeah.
You know, because by the way it sounds like they're changing the way like the power scaling works and all that stuff. Like having an artifact that gives you like infinite power, I feel like that would, I don't know, maybe trivialize a lot of activities towards endgame.
Well, I only remember this from like a mind snapshot, so pardon me, but when you looked at the Nightfalls and your options for Nightfalls, weren't there some that were like insanely high numbers, like 1040 or whatnot, like some
the ordeal,
right? Like some absurd high with crazy modifiers. So I'm thinking that Bungie's kind of got that idea behind their head where even playing this game 24/7 after release and being max level, it's still going to take you some time to get your artifact up to that point anyway.
Yeah.
So
for sure. I am kind of glad that you get the artifact kind of early in the seasonal rank thing. Because that just kind of lets you, or at least lets players who aren't, playing the game, from the moment they wake up to like, that gives them a bit more of a
it kind of levels the field.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially with everybody kind of with the floor bumping up to 750 and everybody being max light as of right now, as of Sunday evening. Like getting that earlier will allow you to push beyond maybe your gear level means.
Right.
But the fact that can only progress, it reminds me of, so like in Borderlands 3 right now, there's those guardian points,
right,
that can put that once you've achieved max level, or once you've beaten the game, you can keep putting points in to raise your characters up higher and higher.
Yeah.
That's all it reminds me of, is that kind of building on the back end.
My question is, it says all non-powerful rewards now drop 3 to 0 points below your highest equipable. So 3 points below,
right,
or at your highest equipable level.
Right.
So a lot of people's strategy going into Shadowkeep is going to be to go to the tower and pump the vendors full of a lot of coins to get to the soft cap immediately. But by that standard,
not going to happen.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to have to play the game to earn loot in game in order to bump up your level, at which point you can go back and farm or purchase perhaps vendors for what kind of gear you're going to want as you build a character moving into Shadowkeep. So my biggest concern as a player who's trying to go in a raid on day one is, if by playing the game, I'm going to be forced to earn powerful rewards before I really want to earn them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to end up having to probably run a strike through the course of the story, which it's going to be my first strike of the day on that character, which is going to drop a powerful reward at a point where I'm probably below the soft cap, which is going to make, like, leveling, I'm going to be essentially wasting a powerful drop. Whereas blue engrams, like if I just go and farm public events until I'm 900, might be a better idea than actually playing any portion of the game, which is kind of a drag.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Somebody tell me I'm wrong.
No, I mean, if that's the case, then yeah, they've added way more of a grind to it. If you're expecting to go in day one and be at a competitive level, which I'm not entirely against, honestly. We've asked for grind, and progressively over the past year, they've given it to us over and over again. Sometimes artificially,
yeah,
and sometimes in a meaningful way. But
do you guys think that these are steps? Because I mean, even if that was the case, contest being a thing, do you think this was done to just kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to say like stop people from getting too high too fast, but to kind of be like, all right, hey, you can play the game a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. And it should be that way. Like, there's no reason why I should be able to go to a vendor and buy something and rank my character up. Like, I should have to partake. But my whole thing is, one way to get around it, if I want to be going in on raid day one, don't want to waste any powerful drops as I try to get as high as I can, because I think 920 is going to be relatively difficult to get to.
Yeah.
My gameplay might be, my plan might be to just run a bunch of public events until I hit the soft cap, and then start progressing through the story, start progressing through my powerful rewards as that unfolds. Because I'm sure that if all of year 2 milestones are now becoming legendary drops, they have to put something in play in the story for us to earn powerful rewards over and over again, other than let's go back full on D1 year 1, where it's like a Nightfall and a raid is your only way to actually get a higher rank.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we still have the part of the story will get us, if they're keeping in, I can't remember, are they keeping in like daily story missions? Can't remember if they
you're talking about like through the Vanguard, like through the Vanguard is I don't think any. So one of the things that they're doing, they didn't talk about any of the milestones that we currently played becoming unavailable. What it seems like it's going to be is opportunities for us to earn, and I can only link this back to more Armor 2.0 rewards, because I think that's going to become, especially for the grinders out there, something that they really focus on to actually build their character how they want to play. Plus, I guarantee there's a lot of XP that's given for those, for people who are trying to rank up their artifact quickly.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of that stuff's going away. I just think they're changing the way that the gears come out to still make it worth playing, because Armor 2.0 at face value appears to be something worth farming for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it gives people XP, which progresses their artifact. So I think that this is actually a step in the right direction towards creating a value to points that may be have been devalued, in my opinion, for over a year now. Like, what does XP matter right now? I get a bright engram that turns into a Sparrow unlocked. You know what I mean? Like, now there's actually value associated with that actually progresses my character and makes true endgame, really difficult endgame, something I can reach for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're talking about like the 1060 and then modifiers where like if I breathe, I die. So
yeah. Does it feel a little bit like maybe Destiny 1 Year 1? A little bit in that regard?
I mean, I was a Forever 29 character who deleted a character, remade it, ran it all the way through everything to try and get to 30.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm batshit crazy.
Yeah, you're batshit.
Yeah. The only part of it that would, in my opinion, is the fact that there's no cap technically until
Right.
Glad finds the cap, and it turns out that the game breaks if he hits 11,300 or something when he hits that level and breaks the game. But up to that point, I think that's the only reason why I wouldn't is because there is no actual ceiling to hit that we know of.
Right.
I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see how that plays out, because even prime engrams are changing as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to drop it +7 now, right? It's going to be plus
was
it? Like
+3.
Plus
plus
3.
4 to plus. Oh no, yeah.
Oh yeah. Providing +3 down from a range of +4 to +7.
They were such massive gains too, man. Prime engrams were huge for moving your characters along, and a +3 is still a good boost. But what I'm looking for in something like that is protection from it being my highest power level gear already equipped.
Mm-hmm.
Like if my boots are like 20 under everything else, I really would like that prime engram to know that.
Yeah.
That could be like something that I need versus, giving me a helmet that's +1 over everything else I've got going on. So
Right.
Yeah, man.
prime.
So of course, along with that power creep stuff changing, we do have an increased window to get to, at least some kind of power level for the raid once that drops and after contest is done with. What were the caps for contest? It was like 920.
It's 890 to start, 920 for final encounter.
Yeah.
That's the one. So it's not too harsh.
I think we're gonna like the way that this game throws loot at you. I think we're gonna be hitting 900 a lot faster than a lot of players think. And like I said, I really think that one way to get to 900 really quickly is to continuously farm public events over and over again, so that you're not wasting any of your actual powerful drops throughout the course of the week, essentially. You know what I mean? So my first character, run to 900, do the powerful stuff, transfer my weapons from that character to my other character, run through all the public events again, then do my powerful rewards, then move all those weapons over to my last and final character I'm going to raid with, and rinse and repeat that process. And by that time, you actually probably stand a chance of being at 920 or higher, depending on how the powerful reward system works and what the story offers. So
I'm wondering if maybe the story would probably get you up to 800, and then you have to climb that 800 and 900.
The game just throws so much loot at you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't move through an area without a blue engram dropping on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even if you're just walking through and a public event happens, you come back to that area and there's a blue engram there in your postmaster.
Yeah.
So
now, I mean, and at least this is how we know the game to function right now. Like this could very well change.
They didn't mention anything about drop rates for anything being knocked back.
No, but again, with powerful sources being diminished is what I mean.
Right.
Because we don't know how many of those are going to be, with each weekly reset right now. Like we know they mentioned that they're going to take away like a lot of that stuff because, repetition and old content. They want to focus on the new activities coming, like the Vex Offensive, for example. I'm sure that's going to have a powerful reward tied to it at like once a week or something.
It probably would have one for a completion, like a daily completion or a weekly amount of completions, and then a powerful bounty that's associated with it that could be like a weekly bounty, like how we've seen with the Forges and with the Drifter. Sight unseen, not knowing anything about it, I could see that the Vex Offensive being something like that, but we don't even know when we're going to get access to the Vex Offensive. They actually made it sound like I mean, maybe it's on the
I
calendar.
think that's after the raid, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Like, there's no reason for it to be a thing before we actually do run through the raid, right? You would
Yeah.
imagine. So
Yeah. I'm looking at the calendar right now, and Vex Offensive launches like right with the raid
Yeah.
launch. There's so much,
and that was to give people who aren't going to be raiding an opportunity at and
to get power.
get
Sure.
right. Yeah. Yep.
Because we also have, so at least from what this calendar shows, is that we also have the nightmare hunts, and that could potentially be a power source as well.
Yeah.
I apologize, YouTube.
She's got to
Why?
get comfortable, dude. She's got to
Anyway.
get comfortable.
Dago's got to get flipping.
Yeah, man. All right, where were we? Right, powerful stuff. Yeah, so again, we don't know how fast we're going to be able to go up. It still sounds like we have some powerful avenues, with Nightfall, the Ordeal, with the Vex Offensive launching that same weekend. The hunts, the Nightmare hunts. I'm excited. I'm I don't know. I really enjoyed a slow climb.
Mm-hmm.
Like the D1 slow climb. I was a big fan of that because again, I wanted incentive to play the Nightfall or go raiding.
There hasn't been incentive for Nightfalls, in my opinion, like in Destiny 2.
No, there hasn't. Not even the Nightfall exclusives.
Like there really hasn't been value to
Yeah.
it. So one of the things they talked about was that the chances for exotics dropping from year 2 powerful reward sources has been they no longer have a chance of dropping random exotics. So that also means to me that they're moving, especially with what we saw with the Nightfalls, like specifically certain ones had like a guaranteed exotic drop, a chance of an exotic drop. So that's another thing I think we forgot to touch on, is that bonus exotics that drop from Nightfall, the Ordeal, would drop at the character's highest equipable power level.
Yeah.
And year 2 powerful reward sources no longer have a chance at dropping random exotics. I think that's huge.
Side note, and I'm a little worried in that avenue because they're limiting. Sorry about the doggos. It's my turn now. They're limiting the exotic drop, which I'm a fan of, but I'm also worried that Shadowkeep is only going to bring just probably like a handful
of new exotics.
And it's most likely the stuff that we have seen already. So like the Deathbringer, the Warlock chest piece, the Hunter helmet.
There's that hand cannon. That's the
Titan legs, the hand cannon,
Ariana's Vow, which is supposed to be pretty interesting.
The heavy bow, Divinity. So
I think that's a pretty fair amount for
7
DLC this size. I think that's pretty good.
7 exotics
we don't know about.
Well, how many did we get with Forsaken? And how many of those did we know about out front?
Look at
the only thing that rings a bell is 1,000 Voices, but I'm sure there was more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Shadowkeep is a smaller DLC compared to Forsaken, but
and they've said that it's more Rise of Iron sized, right?
Yeah.
Gird your expectations that way, I guess.
No, I know.
Shadowkeep isn't going to be massive because of the content that it specifically brings in terms of encounters and raids and whatnot. It's massive because it's bringing with it 2.0 armor, in my opinion. That in and of itself is probably going to be bigger than the content that we play from a repeat playability factor. And I keep going back to this. Like, this is the first chance we're really going to get to customize and fully build a Guardian that we have in mind, the way that we want to play. In a very long time, going back to like intellect, discipline, and strength builds in D1, where it was like I don't even remember, like the 5.5.2 builds and whatnot.
The tier 11 or tier 12.
Right, exactly. So I think that just Armor 2.0 itself is such a massive content drop that I think it's going to fly under the radar as we head into new things we haven't seen yet, or revisit the moon, for instance.
Yeah.
Boy, Fogoth again. I've been talking about him.
Yeah.
Love my Fogoth.
I mean, and I suppose that's fine with a Rise of Iron's like sized expansion, but there's no mystery. Everything is out there.
Yeah. Can we talk about that a little bit? about.
Yeah, like the dungeon launch put on the calendar too.
Yeah,
I think it's wise to put it on the calendar. I think it's
I don't
fine.
know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know,
I'm
man.
I'm cool with this time.
Yeah,
This is Bungie's first full on their own version, right?
right.
I'm kind of cool with them putting their cards out for us, and they never truly tell us everything. There's always something that they sneak in.
Right. I'm thinking like more so this week we saw huge videos from like Dado, from Houndish, from Mason
I've seen none of that.
I've seen none of them either. I've only heard things about what are in them, and that has made me steer clear of them. But it's like
Yeah.
it seems like they're given some pretty in-depth access to things.
Yeah.
And Bungie under Activision may have played it a little bit closer to the vest, but now they're just like putting it all out there. Is that wise in this time directly before launch, you think?
Yeah, you're competing with Borderlands 3 for an audience, whether you want to admit it or not. People are playing Borderlands 3.
Same.
It's your first time to offer your own version of the game without having the handcuffs of Activision. The first time Bungie can call themselves an MMO and actually design and give us an offering for that. And while they told us when the dungeon's coming out and they showed us like a bit or a piece of it, they didn't show us the entire walkthrough. You know what I mean? They were showing us some of the exotics that are coming down the pipeline. I can't imagine that they're showing us every single one. There's probably going to be something hidden. There's probably going to be some kind of mission that pops up.
I'm sure we're going to have like some kind of like 0 hour.
0 hour or whisper kind of thing going on that they've done quite well. And even if we don't, I think this is the right play for Bungie. I think they're trying to get a player base back that is left.
Yeah. Okay.
You got Borderlands 3, which is coming out. October's got actually a pretty big month for a lot of video games. It's not just Borderlands 3 coming out in September, but there's quite a few other ones that are hitting in October that people are excited for. I think Call of Duty might be one of them too. But the other thing is like we all as a community have the option to not pay attention.
Yeah.
To that information that's out there. I mean, you literally said yourself like you haven't watched any of them, right?
Yeah.
No, right.
To ignore.
Again, yeah, but if you're not as active in the community as like some of us are, like a lot of this stuff is already like just it spreads like wildfire, like images on Reddit, again, like on Twitter, like it's just even if you go if you're trying to avoid it, there's always going to be people like posting a picture or
stuff on Instagram.
I've been
like more things pop up on Instagram lately that I've just been like, whoa, wait, hold on, I'm not entirely sure I'm ready for that yet. Like, just give me a minute.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I guess that's fine, and that I guess that comes with the territory. But I feel like some of this stuff, or at least the dungeon launch, would have been cool to keep it like under wraps until the day of.
Yeah,
I mean, it might also give players like a goalpost of something to pursue.
Yeah,
the way that it's gone so far was that when Last Wish came out, it capped out at like 590, right? It was like a 590 encounter,
right?
And then Shattered Throne was actually the higher one, the more difficult one. And so like I think that this gives players like that end zone, if you will, to like as like or a finish line or something to actually pursue.
For sure.
I want to be. I'm not caring about raiding day one, but I want to make sure that I put myself in a position that I want to go into the dungeon on day one because it's a 3-person encounter. It's easier to get fire teams together.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's an okay thing to do. I love the way that Shattered Throne was thrust upon us, but it kind of fit the storyline.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm just maybe the narrative of Shadowkeep just isn't going in that direction.
I would think that maybe with them doubling down on being on like each season is an arc that leads into another portion of the story. My guess is that it would double down on that it would continue the story some and push into maybe the next season.
Well, we have to see how.
I have to look at the calendar to see what actually the last like portions are, but
Well, the last bits of the calendar is like literally the last thing there is the Vex offensive final assault.
Right.
Then the first raid challenge goes live the week before that, and you get an exotic quest a couple of days before that too.
So maybe the narrative that's pushing forward isn't Hive based, but Vex based.
Yeah. That would be
so
my assumption.
I think, I don't know. I haven't seen the videos that have been posted of the first mission of Shadowkeep, but are we fully aware of the actual narrative in Shadowkeep yet? Because obviously it seems like Hive, because the moon and the Scarlet Keep, but at the same time it's like
And Eris.
somehow has to tie in with like Vex as well. So like, what the heck does she find there?
Right.
I don't know how well this will fit in with like previous narrative.
Well, and when you listen to on Tuesday we got the launch trailer, right?
Mm-hmm.
In parts of that, you heard, if you were watching the captions, there was a voice that said, "We've been expecting you. Welcome, Guardian. We've been expecting you." But that had some like ghost kind of filaments around it, like little pastiches here and there. So who knows? But like, there's something going on, and if it's a ghost, whether it be like maybe somebody else's ghost or maybe our ghost being channeled or possessed by something, which that's something that's happened in the storyline already.
Right.
Who knows?
I don't know. I am a fan though that like they're trying to tie in seasons with one another now going forward, because before it was kind of like random. It's like Drifter, or before that was Ada, and then Callus. No cohesion there. So I like the way this is gonna move forward.
There was cohesion a little bit. Like they were just kind of
jumping from Black Armory to Drifter. There was like nothing.
Right. They all existed in the same universe.
I would have to understand exactly what Ada was even talking about for me to know whether or not they tied it to each other. And unlocking forges was so frustrating that I'd actually not care one bit what she had to say about anything. I'm going to be perfectly clear about what that narrative situation was like. The forges were weaker than Osiris, which
I feel like those were meant maybe to build out the universe more, maybe not our Guardian storyline so much.
So Nem and I want something more linear, and you're talking about something more of a spider web.
Yeah, I feel like that's what they were probably trying to do. They were probably trying to, for like Season of Opulence, Season of the Drifter, and Season of the Forge, they were trying to like spiral out these things to give more possibilities to the story, right? And they definitely gave us new characters to follow.
Yeah.
They gave us new possibilities. If you've read the Chronicon, like that's pretty awesome.
The Callus fanfic.
Yeah. And so I feel like they're trying to spider out the universe, create more places for it, and still maintain a storyline. So it
right
along the lines of like, if you pay attention to Star Wars, right? So you have the main Skywalker storyline, but you have all these like spiraling stories too. So you have like the Mandalorian that's going to be part of like Disney Plus, not sponsored at all, guys. And then we have like Rogue One that bridges the gap between things. You're just spiraling out the universe. You're building it out.
I feel like the Hive do that in and of themselves, though,
because they're in everything.
Just by the Hive alone, kind of. Like, I get what you're saying. I don't disagree with it at all. It adds more possibilities for things down the line. But I think where Nem and I are coming from is like they just kind of like appeared.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing that kind of like, and I don't know anything about Star Wars, so
yeah.
But like,
it was just out of nowhere.
Yeah, like all of a sudden there's this area underneath the tower, or the inside
the tower wall that like
it's been there for.
Okay,
forever.
Maybe it could have been executed a little bit better, but.
And Luke did mention that in one of his like state of the games that if they could have done things differently, then he put the different examples of how the characters would come in and out.
Yeah, the whole scenario where like on a certain day Ada would have shown up and walked to her place, and then divvied out all the information about like why she was there, why she needed our help, and then maybe at the end of that season had left.
Yeah.
In order for something else to come in, like.
And I think that's what we're going to be seeing now.
Yeah.
And that's I really like that, because now we know exactly why the next season is happening, why the Vex are doing the things that they're doing. But what I'm curious about is how that ties into with like the narrative of Shadowkeep with Eris and the nightmares and stuff like that, because clearly that's like whatever happens there, that's what kicks off the Vex invasion.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Something.
Like, we're seeing like the resurgence of the darkness, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, Bungie plays with their words very well.
Yeah.
And like in one of their, I think it was their first Vidoc after the Activision split, like one of the things is that one of the developers had mentioned is, the darkness is much closer than you think. They're not going to use that term lightly, especially when they were very, very careful about using the term the darkness when Destiny 2 launched.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. We'll see. I have a feeling like all this will end up tying with like the power of the Heart of the Black Garden from Destiny 1.
Right.
And
we're also seeing that, like, and this is like purely gameplay stuff, right? So we're seeing later on that in some of the PvE activities, they're no longer tied to times, right? So you're looking at your Shattered Throne and you no longer have to do that every 3 weeks. You're looking at your forges and you're able to access them. That's more like gameplay stuff and UI perspective things. But like, it kind of detaches them from a timeline where maybe they can be solved.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
Should we move on to ritual weapons and perk changes?
Yeah, before we go into the ritual weapons, because I feel like we can talk about that one for quite a while. There's some bullet points that are worth mentioning here in the patch note preview. Rally banners are coming to Leviathan, Eater of Worlds, and Spire of Stars, which is awesome. Shattered Throne dungeon is going to be available at all times instead of a 3-week cycle, which is great because one, there are weapons tied to the dungeon where like the Izanagi's Burden, for example, that you need to complete that. So if you hadn't beforehand, you would have to wait 3 weeks in order for that to come back. Not to mention that the Shattered Throne is just a fantastic activity altogether. Black Armory forges are going to be accessible through the directory. Again, fantastic.
Can we talk about my favorite one right now?
Yeah.
Just through reading through these. Borealis and Hardlight now match the Prism modifier.
Yeah.
When changing elements on reload.
Yeah.
Rotating from Void
That's
to
pretty great.
Solar.
Can I admit that I had no idea that was actually a thing that they didn't match?
No.
It was reversed.
I had no clue.
It was,
you
was
needed
the other way
to
around.
weapon to understand that that was how it... I never used the guns.
Yeah.
It was when we were Hardlight for a while there was like one of the weapons that we'd take in against Argos. And recognize that was that was a problem during those challenge mode weeks. When Prism was the case.
That's dismantling an enhancement core no longer deletes the entire stack, so no need to sweat that out just in case now. Weapon mods are treated as reusable unlocks instead of consumables. Any mods that you have in your inventory will be converted to unlocks. If the only copy of a mod you have is already in a gun, however, you will need to reacquire one to unlock.
Before you move on, for those who are watching live, delete all of your mods down to the only one. Leave only one. You'll get mod components, which can be, except for armor mods. You don't want to do it for armor mods, from what I understand, but for weapon mods, you want to delete all of them all the way down to one mod left in your inventory, because all of the copies you have will become irrelevant on the first.
Right.
Yep.
So take down Targeting Adjuster, Counterbalance, Icarus, all those major minor boss specs, take them all down so that you have only one left and hoard all those mod components as currency moving into Shadowkeep. I believe I was told to keep all my armor mods for some reason, but I feel as if they actually operate the same way.
They'd be operating the same way, I believe. Like, because if they didn't operate the same way, you're confusing the system. So why have that system in the first place? You know? But
yeah,
the from what I would assume, if you keep one of each, when you go into your different armor pieces, or if you go into your different guns, you're going to be able to pull those up in the sub menu.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm assuming like the mods and armor.
Yeah.
So the mods and armor are going to be able to be purchased by. There's the currency, right? We saw the armor 2.0 where you can slot the mods and so I don't know why the number would be different, but
yeah.
Okay.
I kept my armor mods. Just, I mean, honestly, mod components I don't think are going to be difficult to come by.
No, no, they're not.
So
yeah,
but I dismantled all my weapon mods down to just one.
Yeah. And the last two that just as a quick mention, because I feel like the rest of them aren't as impactful, is Phoenix Protocol. Hearth perk will no longer award bonus super energy on kills and assists to warlocks inside of a Well of Radiance if they do not also have the Well of Radiance Attunement of Grace subclass equipped. So beforehand, for those of you that didn't know, if you were wearing the Phoenix Protocol chest piece, if you were in a Well of Radiance of somebody else's like super, but you were running Voidwalker, you would still get super energy if you were running like Voidwalker. So that was interesting. And the last one here is for those farmers out there, failing the first encounter for any Black Armory Forge will no longer award planetary destination materials. So
it was good while it lasted.
But moving forward onto a bigger topic is Pinnacle weapons are going bye-bye. Shadowkeep comes around. They are now being replaced by what they're calling ritual weapons. Ritual weapons, instead of having a special perk, will have a curated role. So it's like getting a curated Nation of Beasts or a Tyranny of Heaven running a last raid. And it's no surprise. It's no surprise that this was happening because the Crucible PvP, the Crucible Pinnacles, were dominating the game in pretty much every part of the sandbox, PvE, Gambit, and PvP. So,
what you mean, Recluse was good in something other than PvP?
Recluse, Mountaintop, yeah.
Disclaimer: you will still be able to earn Recluse, Mountaintop, Rodrix's Broadsword, Luna's Howl, Not Forgotten, Revoker.
Yeah,
I think that's all of them. You will still be able to earn those weapons. They are not going away. Bungie's not introducing any new.
They're just not making them anymore. Yes.
Right.
So, instead, this time around for the ritual weapons, we have a LMG for the Vanguard called Edgewise. The Crucible ritual weapon is a scout rifle from the looks of it called Randy's Throwing Knife. Fantastic name. And Gambit is getting a submachine gun called the Exit Strategy. With that being said, they are nerfing indirectly some of the Pinnacle weapons. So they're reducing the effectiveness of some of the perks in PvE. So things like Desperado, Master of Arms, and Onslaught.
So before we go too much further,
yeah,
Desperado is a perk that is unique to the Regix's Broadsword, correct?
Yes.
Right.
It's not any other gun.
Correct.
Right.
I am unfamiliar with Master of Arms. I have no idea what that is.
That's Recluse.
That is on the Recluse.
Okay.
So that's
Onslaught?
Onslaught's on Breakneck.
Okay.
So yeah. So they're getting. This is what they said. In general, these perks use the same damage multipliers for PvE that they did in PvP. Changes to Rampage does not affect the Huckleberry, so they're kind of keeping that as it is, just for that hot and spicy exotic value. Onslaught and Desperado now change bullet impact values while active in PvE, and Surrounded no longer multiplies precision damage on top of base damage, as it was benefiting some weapon types more than others as a result.
Swords.
Yeah. The Striker's sure hand. This is what they had to say on the subject. Legendary weapons have become too powerful overall. In many cases, they even outclass exotic primary weapons. So we're walking them all back a bit. All the way back in the original Destiny, we had a perk named Crowd Control, which was Rampage's successor. Crowd Control capped out at a bonus of 15% extra damage. Now, this is just some insight for you guys. At this point in Destiny 2, Rampage caps at about 67%. Wild. That's a 447% increase from the original iteration. So yeah, legendary damage perks have become so powerful they simply invalidate non-damage related.
So this kind of ties into what we talked about when we talk about building a character.
Yeah.
One of the things that you're going to want to take a look at on your weapons are perks like Rampage. There's a Rampage perk, is there not? For weapons where you can do more. I forget what it's called. Isn't there a Rampage mod for weapons? Or am I making that up?
Yes.
Rampage spec.
Rampage spec, right? Okay, thank you. You guys were silent for a second. I thought I was batshit crazy.
I was trying to remember. That's the one that I slotted into the breakneck so it can go along with the slot.
Right.
Oh,
there's
that's
also
so good on the
major,
breakneck,
minor, and boss spec. So one of the ways you can combat some of these nerfs on these weapons as it pertains to like Kill Clip and Rampage is by slotting major, minor, and boss spec mods on your weapons. Those are some of the ways that you'll be able to mathematically come pretty close to what they were before they'd made these changes, which just kind of coincides to making sure that you're building a character specifically how you want to encounter or enter certain encounters, right? So for Crucible, not going to matter at all. But for PvE, instead of having targeting adjuster on a weapon, I might be going with a minor spec.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, because even health values for like the smaller ads are changing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of weird seeing numbers like 27 pop out when you're hitting like a sniper rifle shot to the head of a red bar enemy. You know what I mean? And it's killing them. It's going to be really awkward when you drop an atom bomb on a public event boss and it reads like 474. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be a little jarring compared to what we're used to seeing. But yeah, essentially the way that most people are breaking these down for me as it pertains to Kill Clip, Rampage, multi-kill clip, is that by slotting a specific mod in your gun, you were able to make up some of this damage that's coming in terms of a nerf. Just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. But honestly, okay. So how do you guys feel about Pinnacle weapons like being retired in a sense?
They've always been in a sticky situation anyway, right? And some of them have felt like they were more OP than others, like with your mountaintops, with your recluses, being so good in PvE aspects outside of their intended use in maybe PvP. So yeah. Honestly, with them being kind of retired, I understand it. We've had a long period of time where we could get these weapons and have them be good, and maybe I'm down for something new. These ritual
Recluse is still gonna be amazing. I mean, it's the SMGs in general are getting a 22% damage increase, so you're nerfing the perk, but they're still gonna be powerful as hell.
It's still gonna be really good. So it's gonna be fine. Like if you've earned it before, it's gonna be, you just have it now.
Yeah.
And you're able to adjust with it faster. If you didn't have it before and you want to go get it, you can still get it and it's still gonna be cool. So
yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
They should have been exotic.
Yes.
They should have been exotic from the get-go and at least force people to have changed loadouts. Like, there's no reason for the Recluse to not be exotic when you have a Huckleberry that is exotic, that isn't as good as Recluse is. So if they were exotic right from the get-go, I really wouldn't have as much of an issue with a lot of it as I do. I actually enjoyed the fact they were Pinnacle weapons. There was a reason for me to kind of play comp. Like, one of the biggest things going into Shadowkeep from a PvP perspective is like, what is the actual drive to go and play comp? If there's not a reward tied to it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I played Crucible all week, and I was talking to a lot of different groups of players, and this kind of goes back to how we felt about Recluse when it was first announced, where we were all kind of like laughing about it, like, oh, it's gonna want an SMG, dude.
Oh, it's an SMG.
Well, everyone feels that way about this scout rifle. Like nobody is excited about a scout rifle as a PvP reward, because no one who is of the, I don't know, I should have nobody. The majority of people who are at the highest level of Crucible really don't enjoy using scout rifle.
Even at the lowest, because so we ran random rolled private matches today, and Dim gave me a loadout of 2 scout rifles, and I forget what the heavy was because I didn't even touch it, and because there was people were just murdering me all over the place, and like scout rifles just aren't in a good place overall in the game of Destiny 2 right now. That's going to change.
Yeah.
Like what's the damage buff that they're getting?
They're not getting a damage buff in Crucible. Their pulse rifles are getting a range nerf.
Right. So
they're getting a damage buff in
PvE. Yeah.
Right.
But I don't know. Like I don't know. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see what that is. Like, have they talked about what's on those weapons?
No.
Okay.
They haven't mentioned
that information might be available if you really want it. I think, like I heard hearsay or whatnot, but
Jesus Christ, already?
I think it might be out there if you really want to find it. I believe so, but I don't recall.
The fucking game hasn't moved over to Steam yet.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up, because I'm just a weird guy. But I'm pretty sure I've heard that some of the, because it's a curated version of the gun,
right?
And it's not going to have a perk that is unique to itself, from what I understand.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, no, they're just curated roles. They're no longer like special, unique perks to the gun.
So with the changes coming to a lot of the weaponry, the only thing I could think of for scout rifles that would be like crazy awesome would be like outlaw and a triple tap, or some kind of reload perk, like combined with some kind of thing that continues to put ammunition in the magazine, with a magazine that reloads quickly, and a barrel or a scope that gives you a bonus range. Like,
right.
That's all that's playing through my brain from PvE perspective of a scout rifle. And Bungie has been making it perfectly clear that they do not want to create an environment that allows us to stay still from far away in a safe place and engage with enemies. So like a scout rifle they almost occupy as weird a space as like sidearms do right now. Just odd place within the sandbox. So I'm not sure. I almost feel like a sidearm would actually be something that the PvP community would actually rally around, because they're not bad.
Right.
They're not bad weapons. They're just not seldomly used because other weapons will engage at their range. But the light machine gun looks neat, and SMGs, as much as I despised them early on, are really, really fun in Crucible and PvE. They just shred.
Yeah.
They're really fun to run and gun. I got a Mida mini tool from the Menagerie that's a lot of fun to use. So I don't know. I'm gonna withhold judgment until they come, but I mean, Nem, like, do you care?
So, kind of, but I'm actually kind of glad that they're gone.
Okay.
Just because again, having these kinds of weapons, we kind of find ourselves in a similar situation how we were in Destiny 1. Like, must have Gjallarhorn. In this case, it's like must have Mountaintop, because it does so much damage.
Has people really told you, like, said, I've been so out of touch with LFG,
I mean,
like,
look at the fastest way to burn bosses in a raid. Most raid teams are going to default to like a tractor cannon and then grenade launch, and then hitting them with Mountaintop. Like, if you're,
I'm more inclined for Swarm or the Raven right now with the way the tractor cannon works. It's more Swarm. Right. I mean, I've got Malicious Birthright in place of Mountaintop because I've refused to use grenade launchers in Crucible. But
I personally go with, like, if when I'm raiding, I like to use the Outbreak Perfected. That's usually my my primary, particularly in Crown of Sorrow. Like, I don't use Mountaintop because I kill myself way too often that I care to admit in Crown of Sorrow. But I mean, it's just one of the highest damage dealing weapons. on paper. So having them kind of like revisit the way those weapons affect the sandbox by just eliminating them, I'm fine with. And like some of them weren't even worth it. I'm looking at you, Hush.
Hush had an opportunity to be really, really, really cool.
It just has the skill gap on Hush. Like it's to feel like a detriment to your Gambit team for that ridiculous quest is just not worth
it. Almost everything that they introduced, with the exception of Mountaintop and Recluse, got outclassed almost immediately.
Those were the only ones that were like beneficial to the game. Like, all of the Crucible Pinnacles were the ones that were top tier. Because I mean, honestly, how often do you see somebody running the Oxygen or a Breakneck or a what was the
Loaded Question?
Loaded Question is amazing. That thing is my go-to fusion in Crown of Sorrow.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty great.
Like that one when they buffed like the heavy impact fusion rifles and PvE, Loaded Question is in PvE. Like when I was running it, the time is going to end soon because of Lunafaction changes.
Right.
When I run Crown of Sorrow, that's always what I use: Lunafaction boots, the Well of Radiance, and Loaded Question. And when I put down just a regular Empowering Rift with the Loaded Question, I can easily one-shot the Wizards, the Yellow Bard Knights, and the Ogre that spawns. It's like one burst and a half of the Loaded Question, and everything is dead.
Yeah,
it's 2 bursts of the Yotun as well. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but that's requiring an exotic. I'd rather use my exotic slot in primary or my special for that in that case scenario.
I don't know.
But anyways, again,
you can still use transversives in the meantime and be able to reload. It's not like Warlocks. I mean, honestly, there's a real good chance there's gonna be a whole lot more run and gun in Shadowkeep anyway, so transversives might be a better option
for sure
than standing in one spot.
Yeah, but again, I'm fine with it because again, the primary pinnacles that were just dominating the sandbox were PvP. So as long as these curated roles are decent and not, weird, fine.
Is that everything? We covered just about everything?
I think we covered everything, which was crazy.
A raid jacket for...
Oh my god, I want that jacket.
Jacket
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you want that jacket until you get sucked into the Vex portal that's inside of it.
Remember, the game's on Steam now?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Uninstall the game and then reinstall the game to avoid any kind of corrupted file nonsense you might have happen. Also, go ahead and get rid of the Blizzard app.
Yeah. Who needs it anymore?
You're not gonna
what are you gonna? Yeah. Are you one of those guys that plays WoW Classic? Cool.
No, just put that WoW down.
Yeah. Are you a Hearthstone person?
No, we
don't
do that here.
Yeah, get that out here.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Get out here. But yeah.
Crazy. We're already to that point. Switching the launchers.
Yeah, dude. Like I downloaded Steam this weekend. And
you didn't have Steam already?
No, because why would I use it? I didn't have.
Oh right.
I didn't have a PC that could run it.
That's fair.
And stream at the same time. And now I do.
You got an upgrade to your GPU, didn't you?
Yeah. I now have a 980 Ti. Thanks to Jaden, aka Mod Sherpa.
How are things running?
It's great. It's really freaking good. I love the shit out of that thing.
Good.
So, like, I've been playing on PC on stream now, and that's been super nice.
Nice.
So now it's like, okay, well, now since I can play that on stream, I can invest more heavily into playing on PC then,
Yeah.
But yeah, I just downloaded that this weekend and hooked it up. So I just need to get rid of the Blizzard launcher and because I'm never going to use it again.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too. Me three.
Yeah. Yeah, the raid jacket looks amazing. Any player that beats the Garden of Salvation raid and claims their code before the weekly reset on October 15th will be eligible to purchase the raid jacket through Bungie Rewards. And for those of you that don't manage to beat the raid on the first week, you'll be able to get a shirt. The design is yet to be seen because it kind of has a raid spoiler. I'm assuming it's the boss thing of game count.
I'm willing to bet that the question mark is a spoiler in and of itself.
Who would have thought, Dan?
Who would have thought?
But yeah, it's cool that they have just a raid shirt altogether now. Kind of wish we had that retroactively, but it'd be like that. So yeah, I really want that jacket. That jacket looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks super nice. This the Vex portal on the inside.
Oh, it's beautiful, dude.
Yeah. Look at that chat. Thing of beauty.
An important detail here is that we have an upcoming 24-hour maintenance. So if you haven't gone in and farmed, whatever menagerie, chalice roles you wanna go for, suggest doing so. Or if you haven't deleted stuff for Bright Dust, I suggest doing that as well. Because this upcoming Monday, September 30th, Destiny 1 and 2 will be taken offline for an extended maintenance on all platforms. So,
yep.
I know it's rough, a day of not playing Destiny, but you guys can manage it. I believe you.
Is Destiny 1 going to be down?
Yes.
Oops.
Yeah. So that leads us. I think that leads us pretty flawlessly into questions. Are you guys ready for questions?
Absolutely.
I'm ready for questions, Dan.
All right. So Sin Media asks, what are your plans for the 24-hour maintenance leading up to Shadowkeep? Borderlands, anyone?
Gonna work and gonna play some Borderlands or maybe Control.
Eora?
I have the mods sending me a bunch of silly games in Steam. I might just download a cheap $5 game just to do some silly nonsense with for a few hours, and then I'll be meal prepping, cleaning, spending some time with my wife because I might not see her for a few days. That's gonna probably be the game plan for the 24-hour maintenance.
Heck yeah. I'm going to be playing Borderlands 3 early in the morning, and then I have work, and then I didn't take any time this week off to play Destiny 3 because I figured the directory was going to be, or Destiny 2 because I figured the directory was just going to be full of people playing Destiny 2.
Yeah.
So this is like, you guys have fun. I'll watch the raid race through Destiny community podcasts on Saturday. And
Aura, you're raiding day one?
The game plan is to go in day one. I'll be on a team with Stash. I think we're still looking for one more to complete our 6th, but
well, Dan, you're just watching.
As far as I know.
I want that 24-hour emblem that I think is ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't too excited about it. That's why this time around I'm like, what? I could just
green. Oh my
I
God.
actually like just the regular completion emblem.
Yeah,
I think
it looks so good. Oh my God, it looks
so good.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty excited about that.
Oh, it's like I like green, but that's like a baby poop green. You know what I mean? Like that's like a Gerber.
It's smashed.
Oh my
Gerber
God.
green, kind of like peas. You know what I mean? Like mashed peas. Like come on, Punchy. Like that is such an awkward shade of green.
Here comes
you know
the
what
airplane.
I mean? Just couldn't do anything like neon for that. Like maybe even 80s. Like what if you did like black with like an 80s like neon sign outline kind of thing? Like that would have been something, man.
Vexgate open all night.
I feel so rude saying that, but my
yeah, no, I really like the completion emblem. I think it looks better than the day one. This time around. So normally before like every DLC drop, I've always done the whole. I've always recorded bounties, and I always stuck to like the game plan that like a lot of the PvE goons put out on the YouTube channel and stuff.
Sweat Sickles checklist.
Yeah. This time around though, like I'm just gonna take my time. I'm gonna play through the content.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have fun with it. I don't want to like rush through any of this new stuff because I just want to take it all in and just have a good time with it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty excited about just kind of going in with a chill mentality, not having to worry like Saturday, especially now that I'm working a full-time job.
Yeah.
It's an 8 to 5, so time is a lot more constricting.
Mhm.
So it's I don't know, it feels really relieving. So yeah.
I've done that for the past few DLC. I haven't tried to go in completely like gung ho. And I talked about this last week. I've been watching the raid races, whether they were on Polar Bear's channel, which they're not going to be this time around, as Aura pointed out last week. But like, Destiny Community Podcast is going to be doing them, and Blessius is going to be announcing. It's bound to, like, I want to cheer on my friends. I want to cheer on my community. And I feel like on Saturday, that's the best way to do it for me.
For sure. Yeah. No, and I'm glad they went with a Saturday, honestly. That's fantastic. But yeah, no, this time around I'm just gonna kind of watch back. Because I never, so like I was mentioning, like beforehand I was always like in there actively going for it, so I never was able to participate in the hype of watching other people.
Right.
So this time around it's gonna be a good little break of just cheering people on. So I'm pretty excited.
Do you want to hop in a Discord call while we watch it together?
Oh my god, yes! I would be all for that, dude. Just get some snacks, some like pizza, and watch the raid race.
Yeah.
I'm
Aura,
down.
I'd invite you, but you're going to be participating.
So we think.
Well, if you find yourself, chilling by your lonesome self on a Saturday afternoon, you know where you. But
yeah, I'll reach out for sure.
Plans fall through. We could each make some popcorn in our individual homes.
I'll just announce that I'm a free agent, and some reputable team, knowing about me when it comes to raids, will surely pick me up to be a part of it, because I know that I'm known for Crucible, but I know my way around Vault of Glass. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh, what if that's part of the race? Oh man.
It has to be part of the raid. There's no way they won't send us somewhere. There's a couple of things that I really want to see in the raid.
Yeah.
I really want to see Gorgons, and I really want to see Oracles. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be a raid, a Vex raid, if it didn't have some version of that in it.
Yeah. But yeah, so.
But Coffee 9 asks, will console players ever have a legitimate chance at World's First Race ever again?
Dude,
I think
that's tough.
I think the answer is yes, but the fact that it's been PC teams isn't because of the platform itself. I think it's because the majority of the players who are on PC and are raid sweats are the ones that came from console initially, and now their spot on console hasn't been replaced.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's limited. This isn't going to be the right way to say it, but maybe there's just limited god tier PvE players on console because the majority of them have migrated to PC.
Yeah.
I mean, Rick Hackey's was the only console team that finished the raid within the first 24 hours. Crown of Sorrow, right?
I think
he came
so.
in sixth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe there was some more towards the end, but I know that he was at least the first console team to do it. And with a lot of the talent, like the dudes in Redeem, like GSXR Clyde, James Work, all these other crazy known content creators who are raiders moving to PC, that just seems to be where the majority of player base has moved to now.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's players on console who are very good at it that maybe aren't streamers, but
yeah. But I mean, like a lot of that too, it really depends, because clearly there's the advantage of almost like instantaneous load times on PC. So like on PS4, I feel like if you want to like kind of stand a chance, you'd have to have like an SSD on your console.
Yeah.
To combat some of that loading, because even just going into your menu is kind of rough, man.
Or some hybrid drive.
Yeah.
Because
that's supposed to be improving with Destiny 2 moving towards the next gen consoles, though.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
We'll have to see what the next gen consoles are.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Are you guys planning like? So while we're on this subject, this is something that kind of like I've thought about. Are you guys planning on getting next gen consoles?
No.
Since you're PC boys now.
Probably not.
Yeah.
It really depends on the game.
Yeah.
You know what they launch with.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big things why I've always kind of been a PlayStation guy is because Metal Gear was an exclusive for a good while.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always kind of kept me here, and God of War as well, like some of the older titles. So it really depends. It really depends. Currently my PlayStation 4 is a Netflix machine.
Yeah.
You know, I occasionally play video games on it. So it just depends on primarily the exclusives that Sony will bring to the table.
I think I'm going to turn my consoles on tomorrow to get the updates up and see if the cross save and everything is performing adequately.
Right.
But it would take a pretty unique launch on a console for me to consider it, just because budgeting. Like,
yeah,
it's expensive to be on 3 different platforms when you take into account Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, upgrades for your PCs as certain parts become antiquated and or just stop working, you know.
Yeah.
So this shit's expensive.
PC is expensive alone, dude. Like I'm lucky that the Destiny community rig that I have, I was able to allocate funds into making it kind of beastie, so I feel like I'm set for the next few years.
Yeah.
Without having to worry about upgrading anytime soon. So yeah, I'm kind of like, well, it's an expensive fucking hobby, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. S8 Airy and Trash Infernal kind of asked the same question. With S8 Airy asking, what old weapons, if any, would you like to see Bungie dust off and re-release? And Trash Infernal asks, do you think Bungie is going to bring back My Baby No Land Beyond in Shadowkeep?
I feel like we would have seen it by now.
To No Land Beyond, and Nem wants the Necrochasm to come back.
Right. Nem wants the Necrochasm to come back.
Yeah, no, you're right. Go on.
I don't want it to come back.
Dan should tell people what I want to come back, and then Nem should tell people what Dan wants to come back. So what do I want to come back, Dan?
Aura wants the Vex Mythoclast to come back.
Incorrect.
This season. Well, too bad. This is the situation you put me in.
Back?
What do I want to come back?
Nem, what does Dan want to come back? You don't get an answer. You got it wrong.
That's fine.
All right, Dan, you'll get it wrong.
Feel like Dan would be a Dreg's Promise kind of a guy.
100%.
I don't think he'd be opposed to it.
Got it in one.
All right, Aura, what would you want to come back?
I want the Boltcaster, you guys. Pay attention to me. No one listens. You don't even listen to me anymore. I want the Boltcaster.
So you can throw the bolts and cast them. Cast them like
I like casting things.
You like cast? Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, I'd like to cast some bolts. I'm just saying.
Dan.
Me?
Yes.
Jalu Supercell was always super fucking cool.
Isn't that the Risk Runner though?
The Risk Runner does a better job, in my opinion.
Yeah. So then I'm going to say Super Good Advice.
I would love to see Super Good Advice come back. Kind of like so. Do you guys know kind of like the lore behind Super Good Advice?
Yeah. So I have an idea behind this. I have an idea for this.
It was made by a guy who never hit a single shot in his entire life. So then they made a gun after that guy, so you can never hit a shot with it in your entire life. Is that the lore behind it? Because my God, that weapon.
Well, so originally, and I think this is what Nim's going to touch on. It was supposed to have a voice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
what do you mean it's supposed to have a voice? Like it was supposed to talk to you while you fired it?
Yeah. It was super good advice. It would give you advice while you shot it.
The gun was created by I can't remember the person who made it, but it was created by someone who got lost in the Vault of Glass, and they created super good advice basically to kind of keep him company.
Didn't Tolan get lost in Vault of Glass?
No.
Or not Tolan. I went back and got to his body. We literally found his body.
Praedyth.
Yeah, Praedyth.
I don't know if it was Praedyth who did it, but
is it Kabir also got locked up in there too?
Kabir kind of sacrificed himself.
He's the relic, right?
Yeah, he created the relic from his light and armor.
Pahanin is what Pin's Halo says. Pahanin is the one.
There it is.
Yes. So here's...
It'd be like, the call is coming from inside the house.
Exactly, yeah. So, my idea is this. Okay. We all know that the Leviathan is eating Nessus.
Yes.
Who is our NPC on Nessus that is at risk of dying because of this?
You better not take away my failsafe.
Failsafe? Oh my god.
And you put her into the super good advice, and then you have that whole thing. You have...
Yes.
Good at advice, though.
Well, but keeping
so
you company, completely fine. I could see it. I could see it.
It would be amazing.
What does the Leviathan have to do with the Black Garden?
It's sucking in... Well, I mean, like, if we're progressing the story along, eventually Nessus is going to get eaten up, right? Eventually, in the long... Probably in Destiny 3.
Wait, we're helping Leviathan eat Nessus?
Kinda, yeah.
We're not stopping it.
We're not doing anything.
We kind of set up shop in Callus's ship.
Yeah, we have an apartment there, dude.
So
we're paying rent.
I still don't think I would use super good advice, even if it meant hearing my favorite episode. That gun was so bad. What was its perk? It gave you...
If you missed a shot, it would suck it back in, and
yeah, and like you just never, it just was this never-ending like stream of occurrences because you literally couldn't hit anything with it. So you had all this ammunition, but it just created a loop of you like firing missing shots and it reloading.
Yeah,
the gun was terrible.
All right, final question for the evening. M. Mills asks, "What is your setup, drink, and snack wise for long gaming sessions?"
I'm boring, dude, when it comes to that. I'm a water guy. I just have like a tall ass glass of water consistently here near me, and snack wise, I love me some granola.
Okay.
You know, some honey granola. Like have you guys seen the I can't remember the brand, but Honey Bunches of Oats sells like just a pack of like their granola.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I
didn't know that.
It's so good. I love that cereal. But yeah, I love that.
Do you get almonds with your cereal? With
I hate almonds. I hate almonds. I can't do almonds. But I do the strawberry. I do the strawberry Honey Bunches of Oats.
Okay, I can take that. Aura, what about you?
You're looking at water. You're looking at protein. So nuts.
Yeah.
A lot of nuts. Nuts.
Just nuts.
Yeah. Like a sack of nuts. And then
Aura goes goo goo for goobers.
I was thinking like, chocolate covered wouldn't be a bad idea, but for me it's mostly gonna be granola, it's mostly gonna be nuts, it's probably gonna be like salami. Yeah. Like Italian cured deli meat kind of thing. That'd be really good for long gaming sessions. But I think the big thing is getting up. Like, you shouldn't sit still for more than 2 hours. I fidget nonstop, so I don't actually sit still. But like the big thing is just making sure you get up, move your legs, stretch, get the blood flow, and get the blood out of your legs.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So that's the biggest thing about long gaming sessions is you want to make sure that you're getting up, moving about the cabin a little bit, stretching, there's a couple different things. It's good for your eyes to get away from the screen after a while. It's good for your body, and it's actually good for your mental health in the engagements. When you're raiding on day one blind, things can get really frustrating. and just stepping away from it can actually be that refresher that allows you to come back in with a fresh set of eyes on the encounters that you're trying to finish. So that's what I'm looking for.
I enjoy a vanilla Coca-Cola. I'm a fan of that. I like the Guardian Con water bottle from last year. That keeps water nice and cold, so I usually have that on my desk as well. Occasionally a beer. I enjoy having beer play games.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, I'll have the occasion too, but
yeah,
regularly I have water.
Right. And there's this. So Kroger has this thing. It has Vitality Trail Mix that I pick up, and I have that on my desk as well. It's got like dried cranberries and almonds and pumpkin seeds, walnuts, pistachios, pecans, all sorts of stuff. It's good. It's fairly good.
I dig it. Yeah. Sorry, Mills. I know. I hate almonds. They're like wicked dry.
Why do you?
They feel super dry.
Do you like pistachios?
I love pistachios.
Well, there you go.
Pistachios and cashews are
nice pistachio.
My jam. Though.
Yeah, you're in good shape then.
How do you feel about pecans?
Not a fan of pecans either.
What about walnuts?
I do like walnuts. Even though they're dry, even though they're a little bit dry too, I prefer the flavor of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, walnuts are a good time. What about hazelnuts? Do you ever eat a hazelnut?
Oh, I've never had a proper hazelnut.
I like hazelnut in things. I've never had it.
Other things like
Dan loves hazelnut Nutella.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge Nutella fan.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Nutella's terrible.
I think I overdid it for a while there with
it's terrible.
with Nutella, and
it's
Jenny gets it all the time. She gets these little packets that have Nutella on one side and these little like cookie sticks on the other that you dip inside the Nutella. I can't. It's just not a thing.
No, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like fruit's good, bananas. Bananas are really, really good for long sessions. Anything that is actually like a juicy fruit because it actually hydrates you at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Things like apples, pears,
pears,
pineapple,
pears,
melons, good melon, cantaloupe, honeydew.
How can you tell if it's a good melon though, Laura?
You have to taste it. You don't know until you taste it.
I typically just go by like if it's fragrant enough from the outside, I can only imagine how it is on the inside.
Yeah. All right. And I think that's it for the questions. I fucking love you guys.
Well, next time I see you guys, we'll be on Steam.
I know.
Yeah, it's happening, dude. Like crazy how all time like flew. I remember when Borderlands 3 launched, thinking it's like shit. We would have been playing Shadowkeep like 2 days from like now, and now we're literally a day away, or two, I don't know, away from Shadowkeep.
Yeah, a couple more sleeps, guys.
Yeah, man. Sleeps. Can't wait. It's gonna be so weird sitting from like the sidelines when Shadowkeep launches, not being there like as it happens, now like a responsible adult. Waiting until 5, be like, okay, now I can go home, like just inhale some food and then go play for like 2 hours and pass out.
Yeah.
I'm taking a half day Tuesday. I might take Wednesday off as well. It really depends on how things go on Tuesday and what I can physically stand.
Yeah.
Again, in preparations of trying to raid on the first day.
Right. I mean, I just got this job like this last week, so
right.
But yeah, that is a show, ladies and gentlemen. We went through a thick and meaty this week at Bungie. Talked about a lot of the upcoming changes coming to Shadowkeep, as well as the ritual weapons coming along and pinnacles going bye-bye. Although you will still be able to acquire the old ones. Don't fret and freak. But yeah, we are switching launchers pretty much. We can do that now.
Yeah. Just delete it now.
Yeah, if you haven't, and again, just as one final note before we take off here, if you haven't deleted anything that you don't want that dismantles into Bright Dust, do that today, because you're not going to be able to play tomorrow with the 24-hour maintenance that's going to be going on. So get on that. You're going to want as much Bright Dust going in if you want to get some of the... Yeah.
Dim has a good tool for it. So... do that.
Source : Eververse in Dim shows you everything you can dismantle for Bright Dust. Thank you, Z-Dog, in chat.
Yeah.
Z-Dog, Miss Queen Bartley, both of them said it.
Appreciate you. But that is going to be a show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with us, going through this thick and juicy twab. We are super excited. At least I know I am for Shadowkeep. Come over on Tuesday. There are so many quality of life updates. I can never say that word properly coming by, and I'm stoked, man. But this has been episode 213 of the Planet Destiny podcast. But before we go, Aura, where can we find you and what are you up to, bud?
My name is Aura. You can catch me and my dog who claps her ears at twitch.tv/Aura. On twitter.com/evilaura, 3VIL_AURA. I will be consuming mass quantities of Shadowkeep.
Beautiful. Dan.
Hi, my name is Danfinity. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Danfinity, but the eyes are L's. You can find me on Twitch 4 days a week, twitch.tv/Danfinity. You can also find me here on Sundays on the Planet Destiny podcast and just about every other day on Destiny Digest. That is a daily 5 to 7 minute short form podcast where we cover the news of the day.
Pretty great.
Yeah,
pretty awesome. This man just has, I don't know how you balance shit out.
I don't know either. We're working on it.
Oh man. By the way, thank you. I think you were taking care of the video portion of the podcast. Meanwhile, I was down.
I thought you were taking care of it. I don't know.
I had no PC. I had no PC to do that, but I'll be able to take care of that now.
Somebody took care of it.
Somebody took care of it. This is how the thing operates here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be able to start taking care of that again. And I'm Nem. You guys can find me over on twitter.com/NemPlays. And I'm finally going to be getting a proper stream schedule set up this week, starting October 1st. Shadowkeep. You guys are going to be finding me over at twitch.com/NemPlays, and I'll be going live at 6:30 p.m. PST Tuesdays and Thursdays. Saturdays is going to be at noon until undetermined amount of time I want to stream. Since now I can kind of balance it out since I'm working, so hooray. But I apologize to my East Coast buds who are probably going to be in bed by the time I go live, so I love your face, but
I can watch you from bed. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Aura, I love
that's a promise and a threat.
Oh, I dig it. Oh, thank you so much for watching the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be where we call it a wrap.